What's up?
There he is.
Woo.
Stuff.
Tell you what, it's hard work being this intelligent.
Right. I understand.
Ooh,
Well,
boo.
I tell you what, we'll go ahead and get started and kind of tell our fans and Gavin's fans mostly, because that's the people that will show up to watch this, and whatnot at some point. This is not live this time, just because what we're trying to do is spotlight some of our seniors or all of our seniors if we can. I don't know that we'll be able to get to everyone. Some won't want to talk to us, and I mean that's
crazy. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, I think that says a lot more about them than it does about us.
Yeah, I don't know who would not want to talk to us.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So yes, so we're doing this thing where we talk with seniors a little bit and just chat away and just a quick snapshot of what the who knows what direction we'll take this and whatnot. But you're our first one, so you're our maiden on this. So we chose Gavin Tuttle, Kiowa County superfan, as right, because when we were doing the Brad and Chad stuff and doing the games and whatnot, that was one thing that we always did. Almost every game we said, the Kiowa County student section led by Gavin Tuttle, superfan. Yes. So we brought it up. So as we were thinking about this, we thought, who should we get on here? And we thought, let's get Gavin. So there we go.
So who? Like my first question is for the three of us, really, and that is: So, who thought when Gavin was younger in junior high and a pain in the butt?
Sure. Who
thought that by this point in his life he would have at least been arrested once?
Oh, right here.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Right.
That out.
There were many times where Seth would come and say, "Hey, can I go to Gavin's?" And we're like, "Is Cindy home?" So I want to make sure Cindy's home, type of a thing. So no, it's funny. You've matured a ton as you've gotten older. So tell me, here's my question for you first, Gavin. Obviously, your senior year didn't end the way you wanted it to. I'm sure you wanted to play some golf. You wanted to go to prom, you wanted to be with your friends, all that. What has been the hardest thing through this?
Honestly, probably the not being able to golf.
Yeah.
For me, that's the hardest.
Yeah. Okay. And you had a pretty good golf season last year too, didn't you? Didn't you go to state?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I placed 25th through 29th.
Okay, so does that make you an all-state golfer?
No,
it's close. I know in like cross country, it's like first through however many, and it's like in the 20s, is considered an all-state cross country person. So I didn't know how that worked with golf. So
yeah, I'm not sure on that.
Gotcha. And Chad, don't ask any questions.
But you're still getting to place. Are you playing any golf still? I know you and the boys went a couple times, but are you? This last week or so, have you been out playing some golf or no?
Yeah, I went out 2 days ago, and I played 9 holes at Greensburg.
Yeah. But it's that competition of it as the high school team.
Yeah.
That's the struggle.
Did you get any hole-in-ones?
No.
Okay. See, this was your chance, man. You were like, one, actually.
Yeah.
Nobody else is out there. So, you get a chance to do what you want. So,
so who are you going to take to prom?
I was taking Liberty Goki to prom.
I knew that. Liberty Goki is good friends with my daughter Shelby, so I did know that. So, do you think she's relieved or sad that she is now not going? What do you think?
I think she's relieved that she doesn't have to go with me.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, she's probably pretty sad.
Yeah, right. Because that's a big deal, especially to the ladies. Like prom. Yeah. Like for me, I was always like, really? I gotta get dressed up, and then they were like, usually, well, you get fed. I'm like,
yes.
Oh, okay, I don't mind that. Do you know what was the theme this year for prom?
I think it was like Wizard of Oz.
Okay. Okay. Were you gonna wear red ruby slippers?
No, I did actually have a red like flowery type tux though.
Okay.
I was gonna wear that. I bought that about a week before all this coronavirus stuff shut everything down, so that was nice.
Right.
What were you gonna go take to prom? What vehicle?
Probably my dad's. He's got this old, I think it's a 1964 Ford pickup, and it's maroon.
Okay.
And I took it last year. I was probably gonna take it again.
I remember that. I remember that. I had to park cars last year. I didn't park that one, but I do remember. I remember that vehicle being there. So good times. What do you think? Well, before we get into your future, what did you think about the whole basketball season this year from the Gavin Tuttle super fan perspective? Like, what was that like this year as that went on?
I mean, it was pretty awesome actually. Like, I don't know. I think they had a really good season, and they played some really good basketball. They had about one or two bad games, and then other than that, it was pretty fun to cheer at when the refs weren't, off.
Right. We had a couple bad ones there towards the end. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Did you get shut down at all by admin at any point? Like, hey, you guys need to calm down, not say anything.
I get yelled at frequently. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Powell doesn't like some of the cheers I do. Sometimes.
You know, one of the funniest ones I've ever heard is the one, I don't remember what all's going on, but you guys do this whole long thing, and then all of a sudden you say, now let's do it in an English accent or something like that.
That was
I'll tell you what, that is hysterical. And you usually do that during volleyball games.
Yeah, that's when we did that. And we started that last year with Rylan. He saw that somewhere, and so we did that. But, yeah, I didn't do it in any basketball games because – no one really knew what was going on, so it was pretty hard to get that one together.
That was a funny one. So who's gonna take on the mantle of Kiowa County superfan? Now
That's
that
a
you're
good
gone,
question. That's a really good question.
So who is it?
Addie Heinsohn probably for the guys' games.
Gotcha.
She's like one of
Logan Rugg.
Logan.
He's quiet.
I looked like he was into stuff though.
He was at the beginning of the basketball season. He was more into it, but then he just started to like fade away from cheering.
I see. Wow, unbelievable. So you think Addie Heinsohn? We're gonna have to go with Addie Heinsohn.
Yeah, probably.
I gotcha.
So what I want to know before we get to all your future plans is where did this whole like ladies man thing come from? Like, right?
Yeah.
So like Gavin knows all the girls, all the schools.
He does. It's crazy.
And not because he's trying to date him or any of that, but he just every time I turn around, the boys are like, "Oh yeah, Gavin knows her. Gavin knows her."
Right.
So how does that work? How did that start?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I just get to know people, and a lot of them are ladies. I don't know.
When I ask the boys, like, how does Gavin know all these ladies? Every time they're like, he's not afraid to talk to people.
Right.
That's true. He'll still talk to them.
Yeah. There's often times I'll just be like, I know this person is friends with somebody else that I know, and then I'll go up and talk to them and be like, just like common interests, and then become friends. And I don't know. I like to know people.
How much of that is done over social media versus like how many of them do you actually really just kind of meet and get to know over social media?
I mean, I'd say maybe like half of them, and then through those, I'll last year in track season, like I went to South Gray's track meet, and I talked with a bunch of them in person. I got to know them better there, and so like it starts off with me maybe getting to know one or two on social media, and then I go out and then just person, and
There you go.
Blows up. It blows up. So how many people have you hooked up through this process? I mean, like I know, like in my own household, Connor's the only one right now with a girlfriend. So I know you hooked him up somehow. I don't know how, but how many other people? Are there other people at the school or other schools that you've hooked up?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't put a number on it, and I can't like think of any right off the top of my head other than Connor, and then I'm working on Caden. But
there you go.
I can't. I mean, there have been a few,
Yeah.
but I can't, put my finger on it. But
nice.
Well, I tell you what. So you're a senior now. There's Seth. We're gonna actually talk to him next. What are your plans now? Let's say that on June, all restrictions are lifted. People can go do whatever it is they're going to do. What are your plans for next year?
well, so I'm going to Barton.
Okay.
In Great Bend, and I'll play golf there.
Nice.
So I have that to look forward to about golf, thankfully. And so I'll be playing a lot of golf as much as I can when all this is lifted and stuff.
Sure.
Do you want to know like career plans?
Yeah.
Or?
What are you thinking about doing?
So I don't know. I've been wanting to be an anesthesiologist for a long time.
Okay.
Or at least something along those lines when I get there. We'll see. But I'll go to Barton and they've got like an associate's in science, but you can get an emphasis in pre-med.
Sure.
So I'll do that, and then I'll go to a 4-year somewhere. Not sure yet, and then medical
I
school.
heard, and tell me if this is correct, I heard to become an anesthesiologist is one of the longest degree programs as far as number of years you got to be at school. Is that true?
Probably. I mean, I think it's about 8 years of school. It's the last 2 years of that 8 years is supposed to be 2 years of residency.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's a long process.
Because I think at one time, and I could be wrong here, and I could be way wrong, Brecken Vandenhoek wanted to go in to be an anesthesiologist at one time. So, and I remember her talking about how long she was going to have to be in school. So at least I think it was. Isn't Brecken the one that wanted to be an anesthesiologist? Seth just goes, I don't know. So I thought Brecken kind of.
That's just interested in walking back and forth behind you.
I know.
Screen.
Yeah.
Connor.
And there's Connor.
So what's
Seth says he's doing stuff.
What's the plan with you and your girlfriend? She's still going to be in high school, and you're going to move farther away to Great Bend. Is that still? I mean, I know it's still a long ways away, but
we're gonna hold you to this too.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I plan to make it work, and come back and watch her in sports and everything, as much as I can. Huh?
Who's your girlfriend? Do I know this? Answer.
She's one of the twins from Mineola, Caitlin Holt.
Oh, I did know that. Someone just said that to me the other day. And I know them obviously from coaching basketball.
Yeah.
And I remember when they said when I think it was either Sierra or Seth that told me that, and I was like, oh my goodness, they were such a nightmare to coach against because they played so hard and they just flew all over the place and they're super competitive, and I was just like, oh, what a nightmare to coach against. So
I believe that.
So,
I do remember that.
Going to Barton, playing golf, potentially anesthesiology.
Yeah.
What is like? Two questions. One, do you have somebody that would have been like your favorite teacher or biggest impact on you from the school with that? And then second, after that would be what's your biggest memory from, it could be elementary all the way up, but what's your biggest memory up to this point in life?
Biggest memory, that's a tough one. There's a lot of good and some bad memories, but I think probably the most memorable one is when Chase Hayes and I were going around the lake, and we he crashed his truck into the lake with me. So
I remember that.
That's probably my biggest memory.
How do you crash your truck into the lake?
Well, we may or may not have been drifting it, but
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
gotcha.
I actually heard that. So I have a little thing I want to
What
ask.
about your teacher?
Go ahead.
Teacher one real quick. Do you got a
Oh,
favorite
yeah,
teacher?
that's right.
Impact,
An impact on my career choice?
or just an impact on your life so far? Biggest impact on your life? It doesn't have to be a teacher. Just who's your biggest impact on your life so far?
That's a tough one also. I don't know.
I mean, obviously, outside of Brad and Chad. I mean,
outside of you guys, obviously.
Right.
I don't know. I think Mrs. Greenleaf and Ty Reamy
Okay.
were pretty big impacts on my life.
nice.
Very cool. Very cool. I know Mrs. Greenleaf always has had the. It's funny because I had multiple kids go through school and then all their friends hang out and stuff, and I've heard many times, Miss Greenleaf is so hard. Miss Greenleaf is so hard. Miss Greenleaf is so hard. But at the same time, I always hear Miss Greenleaf is so awesome. Miss Greenleaf is so awesome. Yeah. And that's really a testament to someone who can teach a tough subject, who can hold you to a high standard, and yet people still really enjoy being in her class and whatnot. So that's a real testament to Mrs. Greenleaf for sure. So I had one last thing I wanted to do with you. I wanted to ask you 3 questions, okay? And they're, who is most likely to blah, 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 blah. And you have to pick from your senior class who you think answers this, or who do you think this describes? So here's my first one. From the senior class, who do you think is most likely to end up being a pro wrestler?
Pro wrestler, man. I don't know.
I got my answer pretty quick.
I'm thinking of
I had a couple.
I got a couple.
Okay. Maybe male and female if you want to. Or maybe it's 2 males. You answer however you want.
So if it was a male and female, I'd have to go with Sabrina and Colby, probably.
I didn't even think of Colby.
There we go.
That's funny. I thought Sabrina and Gage.
Gage was that was the first name that popped in my head.
Right. Who'd you think, Chad?
Sabrina was the female I was thinking of, and then I actually hadn't thought of either of those guys. So.
Oh, really? Did you have someone different?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
I just was only thinking of one, and so I instantly went, "Oh, Sabrina."
I got you.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Sure. I got you.
Wrestler, yeah.
So here's the next one. Who is most likely to rob a bank?
Hang on. Let me look at who else in my class. I forget. Wow, this could sound rude. I don't know. I feel like I could see Josh or Colby robbing a bank.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think Colby would think he could get away with it.
Yeah.
I had Colby. I'm like, hey, that whole my dad's a sheriff thing doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. And so here's the last one. Who do you think is most likely to be the CEO of a top 100 company?
Kelly or Gage?
Those are my thoughts a little bit as well. Kelly or Gage? So who do you think in your class is most likely to work at a hospital as an anesthesiologist?
Probably me.
There you go.
More hopeful.
There you go.
Nice.
Very good.
Well, I'll tell you what. I just thought of this, Brad, and so hopefully this works out for us. But
do whatever.
Thought of it while we were talking. That's how our brains work. But Gavin, we got started about a minute or so late, so we're right at the 20-minute mark.
Right.
Thank you for coming on with us, telling us a little bit about you and giving us some background. You're the first person to be on 20 minutes with our 2020 seniors.
Oh, look at that. That's phenomenal.
Our 2020 seniors. So with that, we're going to have to jump off so we can stick to the title.
That's right.
for joining us.
That's
All right,
awesome.
well,
Thanks,
for
Gavin.
having me.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.